Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss some important topics for CSC 307 Viva. Let's start with hub, switch and router. A hub is a hardware device used at physical layer to connect multiple devices in a network. It is an unintelligent device that simply broadcasts the message. Then we have switch. A switch is a device that connects multiple devices in a network, allowing them to communicate by exchanging data packets directly. What makes a switch different from a hub is that a switch sends message directly to the intended device. It operates over data link layer. Then we have routers. A router works over the network layer and is used to connect two different networks. A network is composed of different devices like computers, laptops connected together. While connecting these devices, you have a choice over how many devices should be connected with one device. Network topology refers to the arrangement of different elements like nodes, links, or devices in a computer network. It determines how data flows between different devices. We have different types of topologies like ring, star, mesh, bus, and hybrid. In ring topology, devices are connected in a circular pathway. They form a circle-like structure. Every single node in a ring topology is connected to only two other nodes. The advantage of this type of arrangement is that it is easy to troubleshoot. That is, it is very easy to identify the faulty devices. The disadvantage of this type of arrangement is that the failure of a single node can break the whole network. Then we have star topology. In star topology, all devices are connected to a single central device, which could be a hub, a switch, or a router. The advantage of this type of arrangement is that it is very easy to modify. It is easy to add or remove devices in future. And failure of one device does not affect the others. The disadvantage of this type of arrangement is that a failure of central device can lead to the failure of the whole network. Then we have mesh topology. In mesh topology, every single device is interconnected to every other node directly. The advantage of this arrangement is that it is reliable and you can directly send a message. The disadvantage is that it is expensive due to the large amount of wiring required. Then we have bus topology. In bus topology, all nodes are connected along a single central cable. This type of topology is cost effective and very easy to install. The disadvantage of this topology is in the fact that a fault in the cable can disrupt the whole network. Then comes the hybrid topology, which is a combination of two or more topologies. The advantage of this topology is that it is flexible and scalable, but it is complex to design and maintain. Now let us talk about some CLI commands in Cisco Packet Tracer. The first command is ipconfig. This command is used to display the IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. Then we have ping command, which is used to send message from one device to another. It tests the connectivity to another device. ARP command is used to display and modify the address resolution protocol cache. Then we have netstat, which shows the active network connections. NSLOOKUP command queries the DNS to resolve the domain name to the IP address. These are some important commands that you need to know for your Viva. Moreover, in Viva, you can get questions about routing. Routing is the process of path selection in any network. It is of two types, static routing and dynamic routing. In static routing, a network administrator directly configures and selects the network route. He has to manually configure the network routes. On the other hand, in dynamic routing, routers create and update routing tables at runtime based on actual network conditions. They attempt to find the fastest path from the source to the destination by using dynamic routing protocol, which is set of rules that create and maintain the dynamic routing table. The biggest advantage of dynamic routing is that it adapts to changing network conditions, which includes traffic volume, bandwidth, and network failure. Talking in terms of Cisco packet tracer, you can get questions on writing the commands to do static or dynamic routing. For the lists of commands, you can refer to the previous video. Apart from that, the specific command for static routing is IP route, and then you give the network ID, then you give the subnet mask, and finally you give the next hop. That is suppose you want to add this network 10.0 and the subnet mask for this network would be and suppose the next router has this IP address. So for static routing, you will use this command. For dynamic routing, specifically you will give two commands. The first command is router RIP and the second command is network and the address of the network. This command is for static routing and this command router RIP and network ID is for dynamic routing. After routers, we have IP addresses. IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. An IP address is a unique address that is used to identify computers or nodes on the internet. We have two different types of IP address, IPv4 and IPv6. An IPv4 address is a 32-bit address. It is written as 4 numbers separated by dots. For example, this is an IPv4 address. Here, each number can range from 0 to 255. IPv4 supports nearly 4.3 billion addresses. Addressing methods in networking define how IP addresses are allocated and used. We have classful and classless addressing. In classful addressing, as the name suggests, a network is divided into different classes. Here you can see the different classes. First we have class A. Here the IP addresses range from this to this one, and the default subnet mask for an IP address in this range is this. Class A IP addresses are suitable for networks with large number of hosts. It supports about 16 million hosts per network. Then we have Class B IP addresses, which range from 128.0.0.0 to 191.255.255.255. Here the default subnet mask is this. This is suitable for medium-sized network and it supports nearly 65,000 hosts per network. Then we have Class C, which is suitable for small networks and it supports 256 hosts per network. The range for these IP addresses is from 192 to 223.255.255.255, and this is the default subnet mask for Class C IP address. Class D IP addresses, they start from 224 and they range to 239.255.255.255. They are reserved for multicasting. Class E IP address, they are reserved for experimental use and they range from 240 to 255.255.255.255. The advantage of classful addressing is that it is easy to understand and implement from its counterpart, classless addressing. Apart from that, predefined classes make address assignment straightforward and easy. The disadvantage of classful addressing is that many IP addresses go unused in large networks due to fixed block sizes. Suppose you need only 8 networks, you cannot get. You have to choose one of the classes. So it leads to the wastage of a lot of IP addresses. It is not suitable for modern and dynamic environments where constantly the number of hosts are changing. To resolve this issue, we introduced classless addressing. It uses CIDR, that is classless interdomain routing, to address the inefficiencies of classful addressing. Classless addressing allows more efficient and flexible IP address allocation. Here the IP addresses are represented with prefix length. For example, this is an example of IP address in classless addressing. Here the /24 indicates the first 24 bits are the network part and the remaining 8 bits, they are reserved for the hosts. The advantage of classful addressing, as you know, it helps to efficiently utilize IP addresses. We can create subnetworks of different sizes. Now talking about subnetworks, I will discuss this topic after a while. Classless addressing also provides scalability. Networks can grow or shrink without wasting addresses. The disadvantage of classless addressing is that it is complex to configure and understand as compared to classful addressing. Now there are two concepts of subnetting and supernetting. Supernetting is to combine two small networks into another big network, and subnetting is to divide a network into smaller network. Talking about subnetworks, in classful addressing, you can use two techniques for the division of a network into smaller subnetworks. These two techniques are FLSM and VLSM, that is fixed length subnet masking and variable length subnet masking. In FLSM, all subnetworks have equal sizes, while in VLSM they can have variable sizes. Now let us move to our last topic, servers. A server is a key component in a network. It is a powerful computer or a system that provides resources services, or data to other devices, that is clients in a network. Server handles request and ensures proper communication in a network setup. We have different type of servers like web server. This kind of server is used to host websites and serves web pages to user. Then we have file server, which is used to manage and store files for the network user, that is FTP. Then we have a DNS server. DNS server resolves domain name to IP addresses. We also have a mail server, which is used to handle email sending and receiving. One last server I would like to add is a DHCP server, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It is a network service that automatically assigns IP address and other network configuration like subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS servers to devices in a network. This eliminates the need for manual IP configuration and ensures efficient and conflict-free IP management. Now there could be one important question, is that how is an IP address allocated by a DHCP server different from the one that we allocate manually? Well, the difference is that a DHCP server allocates IP addresses on a lease basis. That is, it is constantly changing those IP addresses, and the IP address allocated by a DHCP server is a private IP. So in CSE 307, these were some important topics for your Viva. Apart from these, your examiner can ask you questions from your 306 syllabus, which would involve the OSI model and about the different layers and their functions. That's all we had for this video. Thank you.